indeed, Andy. The peak of the wrestling year occurring this weekend in New Orleans, Louisiana. Wrestlemania taking place in front of 75,000 rabid fans from around the world. Wrestlemania is just part of the allure in what has developed into almost a week of activities.
IBT associate producer Kevin Knough is on hand in Nolens. Joins us to give us more details, including providing insight into the shocking death of the Ultimate Warrior, who was featured heavily over the weekend. As a super fan, you must have your heart must have stopped.
Yeah, especially after the weekend, because as you mentioned, he was heavily featured. He was the centerpiece of the WWE Hall of Fame, surrounding WrestleMania every year. They do have a Hall of Fame. Wrestling nerds come in from all over the world. And the Warrior had been estranged from WWE for about 18 years. So,
really?
Wow.
Yeah, kind of a contentious relationship, and they mended those fences, and he came back and had a really heartfelt speech at the Hall of Fame. His two young daughters walked him out, and then he came out on Monday Night Raw and gave a big speech to the live crowd, everybody going crazy. So I got the text when I was getting off my plane in Calgary, and it was just like a real kick in the pants coming out of a perfect weekend to come back to that news. Yeah, very shocking. One day removed from him being live on Monday Night Raw. And actually a very eerie thing occurred on Raw. What he said in his promo, it was a bit of foreshadowing, so it was, yeah, a little bit eerie.
Okay, we're going to take a look at that clip now.
Every man's heart one day beats its final beat. His lungs breathe their final breath. And if what that man did in his life makes the blood pulse through the body of others, it makes them believe deeper in something than larger than life, then his essence, his spirit will be immortalized.
Wow.
That's creepy.
Yeah, I saw that earlier, and I couldn't believe it.
Just ominous, and he was known for his, like, kind of outlandish promos, interviews, and he'd always say big sweeping statements, but this one really hits home, seeing what happened to Warrior. He's only 54, one of the most powerful, exciting wrestlers of really my generation. Anybody who's in and around their 30s who was a wrestling fan in the 80s and who wasn't at that time knows the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, he was a legend.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Okay, aside from, it was obviously this weekend capped off by tragic circumstances, but I know from your Facebook feed that you had a lot of fun. So tell us about some of the highlights. And, you know, it started out, you met Hulk Hogan in the airport?
Yeah, Hulk Hogan was there, and actually I have a photo of the Ultimate Warrior. I went with my cousin Paul from Thunder Bay, Ontario, and I was late.
Oh, here you go.
My flight came in late, and he met the Warrior, and that's his, Hulk Hogan's my favorite, that's his Hulk Hogan. That was his all-time hero, and he was just on cloud 9 for the whole trip. So
how's Paul doing today?
You know what, I haven't talked to him yet. I was going to call him last night. I thought I'd let him get a good night's sleep. We did a lot of bourbon streeting, so we were both pretty tired, so I'll call him after the show. I'm sure he's heard by now, but yeah, and New Orleans was the perfect venue for it. Like fans from all over the world just doing chants down Bourbon Street.
Really?
WrestleMania itself, for those of you who don't know, it's like the Super Bowl of wrestling. It's the one event of the year that everything culminates at.
Look at this show.
Spectacular, like pageantry, scenery,
lasers,
fireworks, laser beams. This was my favorite part. Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin all in the ring for the first time to lead it off, drinking a beer, which was also pretty exciting. And then, yeah, Daniel Bryan, a young up-and-comer underdog, 5'8" guy. The fans have really gotten behind this guy. That's him. He, after about a 6-month journey, he won the championship, and that's just like a dream come true for a guy like him. Spent a lot of time on the independents, and one thing that everybody was talking about was The Undertaker losing. So here's the deal with The Undertaker at WrestleMania. He had the streak, and that was a selling point every year, where he was 21-0. He had never lost. So people just come to expect that he was going to win.
Right.
He lost to Brock Lesnar, former UFC champion, and I have never been in a crowd that was that shocked. The looks on people's faces, we have a couple images quickly, the looks on people's faces in the crowd. My jaw was actually dropped. It really took the wind out of the building. It was unbelievable.
Wow, Kevin Knough, seriously in your element in Nolens at WrestleMania.
It was very cool.
And I'm very sorry that this is how it was capped off for you.
Yeah, it is unfortunate, for sure.
Yeah, these things happen, I guess, but it was just crazy timing.